Good evening, everybody. Right. I do hope you can see me and hear me. Congregation is gathering. I put up a slightly different view tonight. I discovered I could use my iPhone as a camera, so of course I can actually see what I look like on this. I was quite really something a bit different, so I thought from having that view I could have this view this evening, so can bring the changes. I had a request to play Angel Voices Ever Singing from Ruth Diamond. Many of you will know Ruth, daughter of Phyllis and Abner Johns. Phyllis remarried and became Phyllis Jebb, and I did the hymns last week, and she asked for this because this is another hymn we sang at my father's funeral service. So I'm absolutely delighted to do that. It was wonderful singing at down there in 12 Heads, so in the chapel. So here we go with Angel Voices Ever Singing. turn the organ up slightly here, and I've certainly woken the neighbours up next door, that's for certain. Now then, our next hymn, sung this for a day or two, and this is a request from Colin Williams, and I'm delighted that he's given me a bit of background, because this is really I had no idea about the background writing to this hymn, or who Charles Sylvester Horne is, but that's just absolutely great. So, who was Charles Sylvester Horne? He was a congregational minister, a Liberal MP for Ipswich, and prolific writer. Probably what you don't know is, and I didn't know this, he was the father of the humorous broadcaster Kenneth Horne. And those of you, perhaps like me, I just love listening to Radio 4 Extra. If you don't know how to get it, check out, well, BBC, it's on the BBC website, Radio 4 Extra. And Kenneth Horne was responsible for two programmes, Beyond Our Ken and Round the Horn. So I'm not entirely sure. Colin very kindly says you're probably too young to remember him. He was famous. He was not Kenneth Horne. Kenneth Horne was known as a funny man and a comic, whereas his father was famous for preaching, writing, and his work as an MP. In 1914, while on holiday in Canada, he was taken ill and died aboard a steamer, having just visited Niagara Falls. He was just 49. He left a wife and 7 children. He was obviously brought home to be buried in Britain, and his funeral was attended by David Lloyd George, who I suppose was the Prime Minister at the time. So, with that little bit of background information, isn't that great? I will play for you, For the Might of Thine Arm We Bless Thee. I just love it when I get these requests and they come in. I'm just never too sure what's going to come in next. And the phone went this week, and there was a voice on the other end going, and I was able to join in and say, oh yes, Hark, 'tis the watchman's cry. Goodness me. And I had forgotten all about this hymn, and I dare say many of you will as well. So I tried it out with the choir on Friday evening, and I asked a couple of local preachers had they ever used this hymn? No, and so they said probably wouldn't ever in any case. But so we've got this wonderful Hark, 'tis the watchman's cry, and we've got. I was saying to the choir, we've got this lovely ascending phrase. Let's just do that again. Sorry. Got this lovely ascending trumpet type call right at the beginning. And so on. Tune written by M.B. Foster. It doesn't exist in H&P. I found it online, and then my aunt very kindly pointed out that it was actually in the Methodist hymn book at 482. So here we go with Hark, 'tis the watchman's cry. And the tune is called Clarion, and that's got associations with clarion calls. So here we go. So I thought, as you do, something slightly different this evening. And I thought I might play a piece for you. It's called Toccata Brevis. It lasts about 2 and a bit minutes, and I've worked away at this week, and I thought I'd quite like an opportunity to play it to an audience just to see how it goes. It's always good to try something out before you sort of launch out into public with it, just in case there's still some more bits you need to tidy up. So Toccata Brevis, it's by an American composer called Daniel E. Gawthrop. Like I say, it's fairly short and quite rumbustious, so here we go. Well, there we are, something for you to get your breath back after. Hark as the watchman's crying. I'm sticking with the old Methodist hymn book for O Brother Man, 911. This has come back as a suggestion from Alison, who was looking at some John Greenleaf Whittier hymns. Remember, we had one the other evening, and she came across this one, and the tune by C.H.H. Parry, Intercessor, a nice tune written by a great composer indeed, and she particularly, the words are great. The last verse, the word painting, then shall all shackles fall, the stormy clangor of wild war music, all the earth shall cease. It's a hymn I don't remember playing for a long time, and I think probably we've done it at TMC as an anthem. by Martin Shaw, but I don't quite remember singing this. Anyway, let's go to a different camera. I think I might play the tune all the way through, just if it's unfamiliar to anybody. Lovely words. And just because when I was looking through, I thought, my word, there's another hymn I've not played for ages. The tune Arizona. And perhaps just a little aside, if you haven't, just a little aside to say that we did a podcast this week from Truro Methodist. I did mention it, but if you haven't tuned in, and you'll find it on the church's webpage. There'll be links to it, or on Mighty Networks. Some of you I know have heard about this thing we use at church called Mighty Networks, and it's very much like Facebook without the adverts. So if you feel so disposed and would like to be part of the mighty networks, then all you have to do is send an email to communications@truromethodist.org.uk. I think that's the correct address. I'll put it in my write-up at some stage or other. And get involved, see what's going on. An art club coming up, a book club coming up. This week we're going to start discussing the Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis, which I'm finding it a little bit of a challenge to sort of get into it at the moment, but I'm sure it will come. And there's going to be other people there, and we've got the opportunity to talk about it and how we feel about what we've read. And C.S. Lewis, such a gifted man, and there we go. Anyway, enough waffle, enough chat. These things shall be a loftier race to the tune Arizona. The word Arizona, if you listen to the podcast, it will make sense, along with Montana. Anyway, here we go. So we come to our last hymn for this evening, 648, the day thou gavest. I always like to have something which sort of reflects the evening, perhaps to finish off with. So this is gotta be one of the most loved hymns, I think, in the whole of the canon of hymns. I think those wonderful words, day thou gavest, Lord, is ended, the darkness falls, thy behest, but the sun that bids us rest is waking our brethren neath the western sky. I know people starting out their day in all parts of the world. It's wonderful to see this morning on 9:22. This morning that we had people joining us from France. We had somebody join us from Hong Kong this morning, and that was in actual fact the husband of Sue Herbert. Herbert family well known to many of you in Truro Methodist or St Mary Clement or even St Mary's, as it's changed over the time. And once again, to look out for on Facebook, on Nostalgic Truro, or look out on my page. I did post a link about the televised service which we did from St Mary's, St Mary Clement as it was then, with Reverend Gerald Burt, the Praisemaker Choir, looking resplendent in their wonderful brown uniforms, which were part of the choir's signature, if you like, in the first years, and the church choir too in their blue gowns. The rest of it was quite an experience. But have a look. So the day thou gavest, Lord, is ended. Darkness falls at thy behest. enjoyed that. That's a great hymn, isn't it? So I'll play you a little something to finish up this evening, and hopefully this will all go according to plan. I'm going to play a piece by a chap called Stephen Burtonwood. And Stephen Burtonwood is the son of a Methodist minister from Cumbria, and he has written some lovely pieces, some choral, some organ. And I'm going to play his Largo for organ, and it's a gentle piece. It's one of those pieces that builds to a big crescendo and then goes back again. So to conclude this evening, after I've played this, that will be it. I shan't say any more. So keep those requests coming in, and I'll endeavour to do my best to make sure that they get played. And like I said, I'll be doing hymn tunes associated with Cornwall and hymn tunes associated with Yorkshire, anywhere else. So if you would like to suggest some, then please feel free. We can do the American ones, can't we? Arizona we had this evening. I'm sure there's a lot more that we could do. Anyway, I'm going to wish you a good night. Do take care. There were some birthdays today. Anne Tredget, a colleague of mine, go way back from the days at Redruth School when I taught at the upper school, the main comprehensive school, and she taught in the junior school, and so on. Her birthday today. To conclude this evening then, and just to say there are one or two people to remember in your prayers. My Uncle David, who's not been quite so well but is seeming better today, recovering after an operation and dealing with Parkinson's and things like that. But there'll be some that will be known to you in any case. And dear Brian, who we lost from church this week, and there's several others that were mentioned this morning. And but you know who they are, and you've got your own. So please continue to remember them in your prayers. Stephen Burtonwood's Largo.